Hey, thank you so much for joining me and welcome to part 4 of my 5-part series on how to heal your digestion and detoxify your entire body. I created this presentation for anybody who is suffering from anxiety and depression, a skin disorder, a digestive issue like constipation, gas, irritable bowel syndrome, acid reflux, an autoimmune issue, or basically any health issue, because your digestion is the epicenter of your immune system and it's where all the tissue layers in your body start to develop. So in this part, I'm going to talk about how important it is to work with mindset. So when I work with my clients, I put them through an 8-week-long intestinal healing and detoxification program. And inevitably, they experience resistance at some point during the program. So resistance is this funny little tendency that we have that actually resists the good outcome that we're trying to create in our life. So, for example, you say that you want to go back to school to finish a degree, but you're not turning in your application in time. Or let's say you want to lose 15 pounds, but you keep skipping out on your exercise class. Or let's say that you want to heal your digestion and you want to not feel sick all the time, but you're not starting your diet. So what is that? What is that part that's resisting the good outcome that it is that we're saying that's generating, that we want to generate in our life? There are many different obstacles that we can place on the path, our own path. And understanding the origin point of the obstacles that we're putting in our place is extremely important so that we can actually transform and move past the ego. So the ego is that part of your self that holds on to your old identity. Even if your old identity is not serving you and is causing you pain, at least it's familiar and it's what you actually know. So understanding the origin point of your personal block is important and being able to move through it. And so it's just not, it's not enough to just, adopt a diet and adopt an herbal program, because if you haven't addressed your personal blocks, you will sabotage it, okay? A person who says that they want to lose weight, but actually believes that they're unworthy, and unworthiness is one of the biggest blocks that I see of full health and potential, is not going to allow themselves to be fully healthy because they feel unworthy of being unhealthy. What would create unworthiness? One example would be somebody who, maybe they were abused or they were neglected as a child their entire life. And, maybe then they got involved in an abusive relationship. So they've never actually felt good. They've never felt whole. So there's going to be resistance around feeling whole because they've never experienced it before. So you have to be willing to align yourself with a new identity and to let go of the old one. Or somebody that's been overweight their entire life and just doesn't know what it's like to be thin. Their overweightness becomes a huge part of their identity and their sense of self. So it's not just about losing weight. It's actually about becoming somebody different. And that is where you start to see these issues of sabotage that start to come in the way. Also, eating can be extraordinarily emotional for a lot of people. People eat because they're bored. People eat because they're depressed, they're anxious, or even people eat to express joy and happiness and celebration. There are all these emotional attachments that if they are not addressed, then just adopting a diet, basically you're relying your ability to stay subservient to your diet up against your ability to rely on your willpower. And that becomes extraordinarily difficult because willpower goes up and down with your emotions, with your energy level, with how much sleep you got the night before. And it's only a matter of time between opportunity meets weakness and you totally fail off your diet. And then every time that you fail, you beat yourself up, and that contributes to the entire cycle and the inability to follow through with the program. It doesn't matter how sick you are and how much pain you're in. If you don't address these mental blocks and associations that you have around diet and food, you will be relying on your willpower to sustain a change that's going to create health in your life, and you may not even believe that you deserve it. So every program needs to absolutely address these mindset issues and work to shift your belief and your relationship and your philosophy around yourself, around your identity, around your health and your relationship with food. So thank you so much for your time today. I hope that this information aids you in your path. And I left an assessment below that will help you to understand what your personal mindset blocks are.